trying to get this started. All righty.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. That's okay.
Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Things you will see, other places, the future.
All righty. I'm gonna see how do I chat screen share. Say it's questionable. I am doing this live, ladies and gentlemen. I do have 5 people to come in. I'm inviting people in now because I thought it's several of the Nadias that I'm waiting for to come in. Okay, let's see this. Okay, let's see what else I can do. Don't have no viewers yet. So bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Hello.
Hi.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to get this. Oh my gosh. Okay, you got it. I was like, wow, okay. It's going back and forth. So I know other people were trying to get in, so I'm trying to get them all in. So hold on.
Okay.
But let's see. It's like, wow. I'm glad people are going to be patient with me.
Technology, always fabulous.
Yes. Let's see. Oh, come on. This is like, wow. Okay. More people. Okay, got so many different people. Alrighty. You know what? Okay. Ooh, this is interesting. I hope people forgive me, but you know what? Alrighty. I guess we're going to do this the best we can. So, as you can see, I'm outside.
It's gorgeous out. It is so beautiful today.
Yes. So, I wanted to introduce everybody to my special guest, Dr. Nadia Brown, who I met at the Success Master and had the pleasure. My daughter got the book. I want to say the book right because she was like, Mom, you got to get the book right. Breaking Through the Glass. Nope. See, I screwed it up anyway. She got to forgive me. She's like, don't get it wrong, because she loved the book, and she's like, she loved the ideas. I love the ideas too, but I can't get it from her. She's highlighting things on her book. I was like, when you buy a book, you assume that you'll be able to get it too.
Right.
Because if I buy a book, I have to share. But
Right.
not this child. My daughter's like, I don't think that's going to work this way this time, Mom. I'm sorry. So she's like, I'm highlighting stuff. And I was like, highlighting what? She said, don't worry about it. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna worry about it. So I guess she'll share with me at her opportune moment when she wants to share. So she was taking some of the things and she was writing them down, and she has this little book. So you should see her. She has the book, and then she has her highlighter. Then she has another notebook and she's taking notes. And then she's going to her computer and she's doing this. I'm like, wait a minute. Is this a doctorate or thesis? What is she doing? Is she really going to town with this? I said, okay, well, I really want to read the book. And she says, well, Mom, sometimes you got to buy your own book and then you get to see. And I said, okay, I have no problem. I said, so now I have to buy my own book and see, because she's in there, and it's been about 3 weeks. So she's been looking, I guess, every day and making notes and going back and forth and looking. And I hear, like some things that she leads to my business and goes, Mom. And I was like, yes. She's like, so what do you think? I said, well, it's a good idea. Did it come out of Miss Dr. Brown's book? She was like, I'm not going to say that at this present point. We'll go back. So she's not telling me, but she's giving me good advice or good expertise to make me really start thinking. And I said, wow. I said, even at the conference, I loved what I was telling people, how you can go from being just a mediocre business to actually thinking you can be a millionaire and a billionaire. Because when we start up businesses, we think small. And I don't like that word, small businesses. Small businesses, like words, have an emphasis on what it is. You know what I mean? Like, you're small. No, we're not small. We're a startup, we're an entrepreneur. So that means we're just starting, but that doesn't make us small.
Right.
So the wording of that start me thinking when you were saying millionaire, billionaire businesses. And then it reminded me of something my brother said to me months ago, which I never heard of the word conglomerate. He said, you're what we call a conglomerate. And I was like, why? He said, you have so many different aspects. And I was like, huh? He said, I wouldn't know what to do with you, because he's a PR person for public figures like songs, writers, poets, sports. And I figure I'm right there too. He's like, no, you're a conglomerate. You do this, you do that, you do this. He said, you need a real PR team. You need real people. And I'm like, okay, that was during the summer. I still didn't get it. So I was like, I didn't get it until I went to your meeting and it started hitting me, and speaking to the business experts, like, oh, now I get it. And then he said, it only took you about almost a year to get what I was saying during the summer. Sorry, I'm not in the business world like that. But enough about me and your book. I wanted to know about your, you yourself. How did you get started? So I want everybody to know who you are first. So let's introduce who you are, since I ran off at the mouth.
Okay.
And let's explain who you are.
All right. So I am Dr. Nadia Brown. I'm the founder of Doyen Leadership Institute. And Doyen is focused on helping women own their power as leaders, both in corporate and also as entrepreneurs. And how do they leverage their leadership to increase their revenues and grow their businesses. I am also the author of Leading Like a Lady, How to Shatter Your Inner Glass Ceiling. And that book is really about how we get in our own way. How do we allow fear or doubt or the lack of confidence to really hold us back from going after our big vision? And so that was some of what Chef says.
Okay, people. So we go
We had
back
the
and forth, you
opportunity
know.
here on employees doesn't mean
Awesome. Now,
right,
it will cut out for a little bit, which I'm learning with Google. Sometimes they have a little snack food. So say
right.
your last part, because I don't know, did I freeze on you too?
Yes, you did. So
Okay.
again, just helping women to own their big vision. And like you mentioned, just because you don't have a team of maybe 500 or 1,000 employees doesn't mean that your vision for your business or your revenues have to be small. And so you can still build this massive enterprise because you have a big vision. And so while you need a team, you don't necessarily need a team that big, depending on your business. And so that is what I do.
Awesome. So tell us, how did you get started? What made you want to write this book in the first place?
Well, so going back even before the book, I was in corporate and I knew that it was, you just kind of know that now what you're doing isn't what you're going to do for the rest of your life. And things got to the point where I really didn't know what was next, and I didn't have a plan on how to get from, I didn't know how to get from having a corporate job to taking that leap to now having my own business. So I hired a coach who helped me figure out what I wanted to do. That was a big one too. Like, I don't know what I want to do. And then how do I start to make that transition? And it really started with just me having a passion for women who were once like me in corporate, trying to lead a team, dealing with some of the unique challenges that we face as women leaders, and that was my journey. I eventually started speaking to kind of spread the word, get out and meet people, and from that it birthed the book. So actually I started speaking on the topic of shattering your inner glass ceiling, and then eventually I wrote the book. So that has been the journey.
That's awesome though, because you were saying how you stand out, and you have a lot of unique advice on how to stand out for you per se, which I don't see no pink on anywhere I'm looking. Only pink I see is on your cheek or on your lip. So wait a minute, your nails. Okay, you got the
Yeah,
pink
the nails are
nails.
pink.
So I like that because, like you were saying, when you go into businesses, you see really just navy blue and everybody's blended in and it's like unisex.
Yeah.
And people don't stand out like, oh, well, you got this navy blue on or brown or black. I mean, everybody is, like I said, unisex. It
Hmm.
doesn't have male or female. Where you add something pink, which already says, hello, I'm here, I'm vibrant, look at me. And that's going to snatch somebody's attention and bring more people to you is really wonderful. Who would have thought of something so simple as putting on something pink or having something pink in a whole dark entity of people? Entity of people, meaning masses and masses of people. That pink is going to stand out when you see all these dark colors.
Yeah.
And it's going to make someone want to talk to you. This is what I was getting. Somebody talk to you and actually be happy because of the atmosphere. You're vibrant. You just stand out. Like it just says happiness. So when you see pink, it's like, oh, okay, she's there. She's standing out in this monks of everybody. So let me go talk to her over here where everybody's wearing blue. She must have really something special because she's wearing vibrant and she's wearing pink, where everybody's wearing blue in the business world,
Right.
which is amazing. So I'm excited about that. Hi, Dorothy. How are you?
I'm good, Cece.
She's,
Hello.
now, guess where she's from? She's in New Zealand.
Oh, hi.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, love. So
I
we
was a
got
little
somebody from
late. I
New
had to
Zealand.
run and make my morning cup of coffee.
Okay. So this is Dr. Nadia Brown. She tells women how to take their business to the next level from being like in America we have small businesses. Instead of being small and being, I'm going to say, you create conglomerates that people are going to be multimillionaires. You show them how to break through because when we're starting, we always hit a wall, and you're showing us how to break through that wall and go to the top. She's an expert. She's been featured at Success Master, and she's going to be at the Phenomenal Women's Empowerment or Phenomenal Empowerment Women's Conference here in Arizona. So she also is an author, and she's a keynote speaker. And she's good people out there. If you're seeing her, you might want to invite her to New Zealand or China or wherever, and get her to come and actually speak on her expertise on how to take you from being a small business to being a conglomerate business. So, do you have a question or anything, Dorothy?
Not at this minute. I just tuned in.
Don't
I'm
you love
barely
how I
awake.
put you on the
I'm barely awake. I'm up. Invitation. Okay. I ran to brush my hair. I got dressed, and here I am.
Well, I appreciate it. I thank you for getting up. So, I want you to talk a little bit more about your process. Not giving away like would only have that going on as that you're a keynote speaker and you have your book out, but you have programs that you work on as well. So I would like people to know about your programs and how they work and what they do and how they can get in touch with you. So
I'm
you're
just
on.
hearing being rude.
I'm
So,
talking to you, Dr. Brown.
I, So one of the things that I like that you mentioned, because I did mention it, being that pop of pink and the sea navy blue. So one of the things that I work with women on is how to stand out. And so actually, and that's the meaning of the company. So the company Doyen, it means standout woman leaders. So how can you be that standout woman? How do you stand out from a crowd? How do you embrace your authentic leadership style so that you can now lead from a place of power? A lot of times we associate leadership with men, and then women tend to take themselves out of the picture. So I work with women to work through that process. So that's the first thing. Who are you? You know, I asked that question, and we really have to get real
Okay.
about what that means. Similar to some of the things that I cover at Success Master is, what is your big vision? Because we want to be part of something bigger. And so even as the leader, you have this big vision and you're excited about it. There are lots of things that you want to do, but you know that you can't do them all by yourself. So being able to clearly articulate that vision, and have it to a point where you can communicate that vision. And I know, Ceci, you really get this as, you know, having a team and going to different events and needing to be able to tell people and direct them and have them be able to operate at the same level of excellence that you operate at. So really helping women go through that process, because sometimes we run into roadblocks, we run into obstacles, and it's easy to feel like you just want to give up. And so helping them navigate that process. We put together plans. In my former life in corporate America, I was a project manager, so I'm all about putting together a plan. So we have step by step on how to achieve that vision. And then we look at your team, how to develop that team. But then the biggest piece is just providing you the support that you need as you take action, because you're not going to achieve that goal sitting and planning and wishing and dreaming. At some point you have to take action. And so that's pretty much the overall, the big process. right now is a very exciting time for Joyen as we look at the different facets, the different women that we serve. And so we are looking at academies to launch where we can focus not only on women who are in corporate, but now really taking those women who are entrepreneurs and bringing them together and creating this massive community of women who want to have that bigger impact, who want to truly lead, and who want to improve their revenues, because we're in business to make money. And so how do you do that? Because women tend to lead and do things differently from men. So there are a couple of different academies that we're working on. I'm really excited about it. Working on writing content. I'm working on a new book. So it's a really exciting time right now. But just being able to work with women, as you mentioned, I do the keynotes. I'm excited tomorrow to be able to speak to the group at the Phenomenal Women Empowerment Conference. And then also to just being able to create that sense of community. So probably one of the projects I'm most excited about this year is hosting a women's leadership retreat in San Diego in October. So that is really exciting as well, to have 5.5 days to get away from work, to get out of the office, to not focus on it, to be with a small group of women where we can just talk about what's worked, what hasn't worked, our big visions, and really and be pampered. So, part of it is just going to the spa. We're all going to go get massages and facials and whatever. And so really excited about that, because it's about being around like-minded people to help you achieve that. Because as you know, we run into roadblocks, things change, programs don't work out the way that we want them to, and it's easy to get discouraged. But to have that group, to have that community with you to help you and say, no, you got this, keep going, we're here cheering for you, is so important to me. So that's what I'm up to over here.
See, and that's doing an awful lot. I mean, a really a lot. Which is good, So we want to keep you posted, definitely for October, because that's a 5-day event. That is something sensational. So, and you're developing in a school of training people where to go, and how to do things, and how to start up. And that's good information, because some people get lost. Some people don't understand all the things that are going on in the world. Mm-hmm. Especially when it comes to business, and the fact that you're going to actually step up and give them the tools that they'll be able to use. Definitely. And go forth, which is awesome, because when you're, like myself, when I first got in, I didn't have anybody to go to. I didn't know about branding. I didn't know what it was successful, because the people they would say what was success was Bill Gates. Now, the person I thought was really successful, called me corny, was Martha Stewart. She had it going on. I don't care what y'all say. She had it going on. She was a brand. When you picked up Martha Stewart, she was on TV. She had a magazine. I mean, she had it down to a T, that you knew exclusively that Martha Stewart, she was a billionaire, and she made it. But how did she make it? What gave her the start? What helped her take it to the next level, which was phenomenal for me. How we're going to do this? How we're going to make this happen with the keys? But then you see they burnt her too. So how do we do that? How do we, so you're giving them a platform of, okay, you know what, if Martha Stewart can do it, Bessie Smith can do it. I know people probably don't remember who she is, but she was, I hate to say it, she was supposed to be the black version of Martha Stewart, but she wasn't the black version. She was just she was more eclectic, but knew what it was like to come from nothing and make it something. She didn't marry into it. That's what I liked about it. So that's another powerful woman to think about that made a brand. When you think of Bessie Smith, there you go. She's right there. So that in itself was amazing. So you're teaching these women, and not only women, you're even taking young women and girls and inspiring them to be something that they have something to look forward to, and let them know they are the future. So do you want to talk about that as well?
Sure. I haven't done as much as I probably will in the future around working with girls, but I definitely see how that has inspired them. And I've had moms bring their daughters to some of my different presentations because they're like, it's so important that they learn this information at a younger age so that they don't have to go through some of the stuff that we went through figuring this stuff out. And so it's so important to just really, especially around that self-esteem piece, around being confident and comfortable in your own skin. I think there are so many messages that women and girls receive around how we should be, how we should dress, what we should look like, how we should speak or act or walk or whatever, and that it gets really confusing. And so to be able to empower girls and women to just say, you know what, I am who I am, and I'm comfortable in my own skin, and I'm okay with doing things my way, and not feeling so much pressure to try to fit in because we're all different, we're all unique. And so it's that's what really gets me excited. But a lot of it is just the same message that I share with women. I just get to share it with girls at a younger age, so that hopefully they don't have to bump their heads like we did when we were trying to figure some of this stuff out.
See, and that's what I like. All right, I got everybody. I think I have everybody. Okay. All right. Barb came in the room, and I think maybe she come back. I don't know. It's okay. We're learning Google. So I was like, technology, which is all good. So I like that because I brought my daughter, and as I said at the beginning of the show, she got your book, and she won't let it go. So I have to buy my own book.
Here, I have a copy right here for you.
Yeah, so let everybody see the book so they can see, And where can I find your book? Is it on Amazon? Is it to tell them about your website so they can do Leading Like a Lady?
Yes.
So
your inner glass ceiling. Yes, it's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, the iBookstore. It's available in Nook or Kindle format as well. And then you can also visit my website at doyenleadership.com and order a copy there as well.
Now, let's talk about Doyen, because not everyone know how to spell it or say it, and what does it mean? Give the significance of what that means.
So Doyen means standout woman leader. It's spelled Doyenne. It's not a created word. It's actually French. And when I was thinking about how the I guess the symbolism or what I wanted my company to represent, I wanted women to walk away feeling authentic, confident, and strong. And as we went through this process of really figuring out a word that encompassed all of that, that's how we came up with the word Doyen. And just really helping women to, again, feel authentic, confident in their leadership, strong, and being able to own their power as leaders, as entrepreneurs, as CEOs of our companies, and to really just help them go through that process. And so that is what Doyen stands for. It means we don't hide at the back of the room. And that was important for me, especially as I started speaking, because I'm a natural introvert. So me speaking or getting out in front of people and being part of big crowds is often very uncomfortable. And yet I push past the fear because my passion for what I do is greater than the fear. And so I'm an example, even in my work, even when I step on a stage, I'm an example that you can pursue your dreams. You can have that major impact, even if you're an introvert or even if there is that fear, because the fear is going to show up, so you have to take the action anyway.
I like that, because I'm learning that I'm used to speaking, but I learned about myself is that I tend to be quiet or shy, and when you're running a business, you can't really be shy. But like when I'm on the radio, it's different. I can sit there and da-da-da-da-da-da in front of a camera because there's really nobody here looking at me. I can yada, 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 yada. But put me in a room full of people, and all of a sudden I noticed, since I've been actually going out more and doing a lot more, is that I'm not as out there as I thought I was. I just tend to sit there and just watch and observe and maybe speak. And it takes me a while to get comfortable, but learning in business, you don't have that time. That first impression is very important, that people meet you. And if you're quiet, they're looking. And I was blessed because I got to meet Dr. Brown at the Icon 15 and a Fuse conference in Phoenix as well. And I went down there and I met this gentleman and just, was like, okay, now what do you do? Now I do this all the time. Like, you do this business and stuff. And I never met him. He made me feel comfortable, gave me a hug. I'm more of a personable person, where if I can touch you or hug you, and I have to remember, I've been like that all my life. When I was in school, I used to have to sit on my hands because I used to talk with my hands. I got in trouble. That comes from my Sicilian grandmother. So I would, we talk with our hands, and she's like, no. In school, I would have to go, and then I started talking with my head. And then he's like, no. So for me, it's touching. For me, I need to touch or feel or something to get, and then I'm comfortable. But if I can't touch you, it's like my mind, I'm like a deer with headlights. And I'm sitting there and not knowing what to say because it's like I can't feel. So that's why I'm glad the other part of me, the spiritual side of me, is helping me get connected another way so I can actually be a lot more freer on the I've got this down. I've been doing this on radio for about 7 or 8 years, so that's no problem. I've been doing TV, a couple of years, so now I'm comfortable. Now these are my comfort zones. So I feel like I don't really have to go anywhere, but in reality, in order for people to get to know your business and who you are, you actually have to be touchable. So that's one thing I did learn. You have to be touchable. So that is different. So I appreciate that because of you sharing that information for us that are, introverted and not used to. We can also start businesses, and it's something that you love, you wouldn't even think of that you can do, and take it from something as simple as this girl used to back in the day crochet caps, and then these little sandals, and then these little things, and then she put it on Etsy, and then someone seen it and they wanted to make it bigger. So your little, what you think is a little hobby can actually be a really multi-business that someone actually needs. Someone needs your services or your product. So you got to be able to speak. And who better to speak about your product than yourself?
Absolutely.
Because not everybody knows. You can get someone to speak for you, but are they going to have the passion that you do? And that's what I learned. They're going to have the passion about business like you are.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that,
Yeah, and I would just
So
add
that, I mean, to me,
your story like you can. So, to be able to get out a story about you and your business and your passion and your vision, no one can do that as well as you can. And so it's really important that you learn how to have those conversations.
Okay. So, and so the other thing is that you're showing them how to walk the talk. And you have a teleconference as well that you do with your clients. So tell us about your teleconference. I know last time you had a teleconference. I don't know, do you still do that, the teleconference?
I do. So I think the program you're talking about was the CEO Jumpstart. And in that program, really quick program to 3 weeks, not a long, drawn-out, year-long mastermind. But the purpose of that program is to really just get you crystal clear on your big vision, to help you get clear on your zone, or what I call like the genius zone. So what are your strengths? So what is it that you need to do so that you know what you can then delegate? And then the last piece of that is just putting together that action plan.
Okay. We know, Google. We
And what are the
know.
things and the last piece was putting together your action plan. What are those things that you need to do? What steps you need to take in order to actually achieve that vision? And so, like I said, 3-week program, really quick, really laser focused to help you just get going. Because sometimes getting started is the hardest part.
Right. That's true. So all you need is for someone like yourself, an expert, to sit down and you go over them with them their plan. So that comes to you, okay, say I'm a new business. You know what? I have a vision and I want to have a spa where everybody's eating all of my holistic products, using it from A to Z, from their body inside and out. And I want to have this retreat. And I would come to you, and this is my vision. I would come to you, and you would sit down and work with me.
Absolutely. I would love that. And you know,
Okay.
we already have that in common. We love to do retreats, so you know I'd be all over that.
So, you know, well, as you see, I love to do retreats. I'm learning. This is new for me, taking it outside the country, which I will be doing in December. But my goal this summer is to go to Thailand. To go to Thailand and learn Thai yoga. So I can bring that back into all the other things that I do and make Food Alchemist even more, I don't know, like, or I can just, like, see, I can see it with my hands like this. Make it so sumptuous. Yes,
We're waiting for
to
you.
make Food
So
Alchemist.
hurry up, get to Thailand, learn what you need to learn so we can get our yoga on.
Right. And healing. See, I'm all about the healing. So that I would love, to sit down and work with you because I see this vision. And like I said, I'm just starting to realize what my brother said, that I'm a conglomerate. And it's like, it's hitting me in the face like, wow. He said, you tell you something and you make this. And he said, how many people can go and make a bath? How many people can make creams? Like even my baby girl, she got hay fever. And I was able to go in and just go, oh, okay, this is what you need and this and this and this. And then her doctor's like, wait a minute, how did you get better? She said, I seen my doctor. And I said, what doctor did you go to? She says, Mom, I'm talking about you. And I said, oh, okay. So that helps. She boosts my confidence, but, and other people boost my confidence. I'm confident in when I'm doing it for my daughter or my son or other people. It's just that when it's putting it out there to strangers, it's like, you freeze up like, how do I do this? And what is the best approach? Because everybody's like, oh, Sussy, they pull you different ways and everybody wants a part, but you don't want to lose your business too. So I know that you have the skills to help them not lose their business and know the appropriate for them to buy into your business, and also how to sponsor your business so you're not losing but gaining, and it's a win-win for both of you. And that's some things that women get stuck in, like they don't know how to negotiate business properly because they've never had to, and especially being in a male dominating entity. It's it's, or like they say, the good old boys club, this my father, this and that. How does a woman navigate and negotiate with those but be on her terms where she's not labeled the big B? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
She's a B, and it's not that, it's just that she wants what she wants. But if it was a man, it's different. Oh, well, a man can be a shark, a woman shouldn't be a shark. So like the double standards, you would be able to help the women navigate through that. That's what I'm seeing, because you've been there, you've been in the field, you know some of the things that they do and how to come across as a lady, which I like.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I did a couple of weeks ago actually was a webinar around what to do when you're the only woman in the room. Like you mentioned, you're sitting at this table, and especially as you continue to grow your business and you start hitting those higher numbers, as I mentioned at Success Master, only about 10 to 12% of women-owned businesses hit 6 figures. So you're talking 7, 8, 9 figures. You are starting to see fewer and fewer women. And so again, how do you negotiate? How do you stand out from a crowd? How do you get what you need or want in a way, like you said, I'm not the big B. And how do you get past maybe feeling a little uncomfortable or intimidated? Because those feelings are natural and they may come up when you find that you're the only one in that room that looks like you. So absolutely, those are the things that we do. And that's one of the big pieces that I'm so excited about with this community is, while you may be the only woman in that boardroom or in that room making that negotiation, when you come into the room as part of the community, you're not the only woman. And you have women who get it, who can continue to encourage you, who can listen to your story and not say, oh, you're just imagining stuff, you are being over dramatic, or he didn't mean it that way. Like, people who understand what you feel and can then again provide you with support and tools and resources. And sometimes you just need to who understands. So whatever it is that you need, that's what that community provides in terms of having a group of like-minded women there to help you along on your journey.
See, and I like that. That's what you're about. So you have so multi-facet experiences in these seminars for business, but also you have the expertise because you've worked in corporate America and been there and seen it at the forefront. So you're not just talking like, oh, well, I've studied such and such. You've been there. So that's what we need. We need an expertise, or expert, I should say, that's been there, but also studied and know and experienced, be able to help us as women come into the business and feel comfortable. And that's where you fit in, and people don't think about it like that. But that's like, you got to have your coach, your mentor, or the person that's going to be your rah-rah team to help you get in there, because if you don't have that, that's where you fall. And you got to, like, building up your support system, as you would say. Who is in your support? And you're always going to get naysayers, and some of us are not used to that because it's like, oh, they say yes, yes, yes. And you're going to get some no's, and you're going to get some people that are going to try to change your vision into what they and visualize. And they say, no, I don't see that, but I see this. And they try to change it around. So you don't listen to those. And I listened to a good friend of mine, Martha, helped me with that. Don't worry about what they're saying. She was very important in it. Don't worry about what they're saying. Continue to do what you're doing. And I'm very sensitive, because I don't want to hurt people's feelings. That's something I don't want to be a pain to anybody. I don't want to be a burden to anybody. I want to be independent, but at the same time, I can't let somebody crush my dreams at the same time. And that's another thing that we as women need to learn. Not everybody is there for you, even though they say the words or pretend, but how to read these people and define, and knowing that their action speaks louder than words. You feel? So I believe that you would be able to help them understand who is for real and who is not for real.
Absolutely.
And how to, body language. Not a lot of us are good at body language. If I'm sitting like this, my hands crossed, what does that mean? Or am I sitting like this and listening to you? What does that mean? Simple little gestures of eyes and face, we need to learn, especially when you're going in the business world, because these are your keys. Either you're losing them or you're bringing them back, or they don't understand or have a clue what's going on, or they have just like spaced out and they're just letting you say your spiel, and it's basically next. You already know that you're not going to even be considered. And I believe that you'll be able to help them, women out there, help them with their business like that as well, because you've been there and you know the body language. When someone's tense, how to read them and how to understand body gestures, but also having your portfolio put together and how to keep it sharp, how to get straight to the point, not dilly-dally around. Boom, 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 here it is, And that's what they're looking for. Their CEOs don't got time to be sitting around like, oh, okay. Your meeting might be 15 minutes. That's why they say practice an elevator speech. What is your elevator speech? Can you give it in 60 seconds, which is 1 minute? Or some people it's 45 seconds. What can you say in 45 seconds about your business that is going to stand out and get somebody that wants to buy in 45 seconds?
Absolutely. You touched on a number of
So,
different things. One thing I wanted to bring up when you mentioned like dream killers and those that like to squash your dreams. Often those people are closest to us because they're definitely the ones that we trust the most to share, especially in those early stages. And one thing to keep in mind is that while there are those true dream killers out there, a lot of times when you make a decision as a leader to step outside of your comfort zone and really pursue this big dream, it makes other people uncomfortable. And so a lot of times the negativity that you're receiving from friends and loved ones isn't so much that they don't want to believe in your big dream or that they don't believe that it's possible. It's the fact that you just scared the living crap out of them and that you had the courage to now go after something that big. And so it's sometimes easy to take it personal, but when you take a step back and say, you know what, this could just possibly be because the way that they're afraid, and then it helps you to frame that conversation so you don't always walk around thinking everybody's a hater, because everybody isn't. Most people are just scary. They just like, oh my gosh, I have a big dream, and now Ceci or Martha or Barbara, they're out doing some big things, and what does that mean about me? That I'm stuck in this box because I don't dare dream and I don't dare take that big action. I love that you talked about body language. That is definitely something that I touch on a lot during my seminars, because not only learning how to read other people's body language, but more so, how do you show up powerfully? Because a lot of times, one of the biggest ways that we give away our power is in our body language. We walk in, we're all small and just intimidated. We don't make eye contact. We look a hot mess. And so then we wonder why people don't take us serious. It's because you look too scary. You don't even look like you're a leader. I don't think I will follow you because you look like you're about to fall apart. So how do you show up in your power?
I like that. How do you show up in your power?
How do you show up as a powerful leader? So people are like, oh my gosh, this girl is going places. I need to jump on that bandwagon. I need to be a part of what it is that she's doing. And then the last piece is understanding behavior styles. And I love that you brought that up, because, and one of the things I talk about, my husband knows I pick on him all the time, is he is a true engineer. And he wants diagrams and charts and flow. It's just like, oh my gosh. But that's his behavior style. So I know when I come to him and I'm presenting information, I need to get to the point, get to the facts. He don't want to know a lot of this, how I feel or about colors, or he want what is the plan, what are the steps, how much money, because our brother want to know how much money we spending, how much you bringing in. And so when I understand that, my feelings aren't hurt when he doesn't care about what the logo looks like, or he doesn't care that, you know, we're going to do something in Hawaii. He don't care. How much is it going to cost? When is it going to be? What are your steps to be successful? And, you know, what is the revenue that you're bringing in? I can talk to my girlfriends and we can talk about all the other stuff, but just so understanding behavior styles, because again, you know, it's a little intimidating when you walk in a room or people are firing these questions at you, and it's not necessarily don't believe in your vision, but like you said, sometimes when you're dealing with these decision makers, they don't have 3 hours to go through your whole proposal. You may have, like you said, 45 seconds to a minute. You need to know how to get to the point so that somebody cut you a check. So, you know, and that's just how we do. So I help women deal with all of that.
And that's good, because that's a powerhouse. That's a straight powerhouse. When you get that, that's what they're going to get when they come with you. They're going to learn to be precise, be crisp, and nail it on the line, because that's what they need to do in this entity. Let's nail it online. Let's get this going. Let's make it happen. Okay, this is the facts. Where when they walk in, that they not only can walk into one business, but a multitude of business. And we got to also be prepared for ourselves for rejection, because not everybody is a match for you. And got to realize, for out of maybe 100 doors, 100 doors that said no, that maybe 5 said yes. And then you got to keep trying. And then you might also want to, what I learned from business is might critique It's like, was there something in the presentation that you don't agree with, or something that you didn't see value with? Like, kind of get a feedback why they said no. And when you get that feedback, that gives you something to work on to go to bigger and better onto your next, and just keep presenting. And I mean, everybody's not going to be the same, but if you're taking all these no's, take out and see what the common ground of what they're saying, and then say, okay, this is where I need to improve on, or this is where I need to do to make this be feasible to someone in this entity that I want to go to in this business, to make me stand out. Why am I not standing out? And I'm not just saying, one person, because one person, that's just, it might be a personal preference versus a business preference. You know what I mean? You want to know the difference. That's just me.
There's made me think of something that Lisa Nichols shared. She said no stands for next opportunity. And sometimes as entrepreneurs, we get so emotional over the no. And we just focus on, oh my gosh, they said no. And yes, there are things that can be learned, but it could be you weren't the right fit, or it's not the right time. But again, we don't have the luxury to sit around crying over it. We just need to keep this train moving. What can I learn from that? What feedback can I get? What tweaks may I need to make to my presentation? And
that's okay.
Next, keep it coming. So one thing I encourage my clients to do is to build up a nice size pipeline, because when you're only going after 1 or 2 or 3 people, it can feel so painful when you get a no. But it helps you when I got a no, but I have another meeting with a big client tomorrow. Like, you keep them coming. And so we tend to not spend so much time focused on that no, or feeling sad or being depressed, because you're like, I'm moving on to the next, and I can circle back with you. I can stay in touch with you, and you might come around a year or so later. I don't know how many stories I've heard of people that, it was a no this year, but then 4 years later, they were ready. And so just being okay with that, but just building up that pipeline, you're like, all right, you said no. I had 12 more people to talk to. I don't have time to be sad about the fact that you said no.
Right. So again, it's make a list. Make of all your potentials where you want to. Make a list. That's what I would tell women. Make a list where you want to be, who you want to see, make it, and make an interview. Make phone calls, set up interviews, and be at some of these places and these events. Sometimes it might cost you a little to get an event to speak to the right people, but if you're right there and you have an opportunity, use the best ability, and you might not. The person that you might want to speak to might not be there, but someone might have seen you and pass on your information. So make yourself available is what I'm saying as well. Because sometimes we don't. We're so busy, making less, not following through with phone calls, and not knowing where to go and make connections, but make yourself available and see about these events. Where do you want to be, and put yourself in those type of events to go to. And everything doesn't have to cost money. There's events that you can go for brunch or a munch or munches and meetups and different things that you can actually go and get to meet these speakers for free sometimes, or at the library. Find out what's going on at the library that you can be at, or a recreation center, or Arizona Small Business Association, or whatever the things, a women entrepreneur. But these are places that women can go, and men can go, and veteran events, all these things that you can go to platform your business. So if you're a psychic, you would go to a psychic fair. If you're a spiritualist, you would do a spiritual event at a church or something. Get to know the churches, the center. So these are different aspects that you can put yourself in. You're a photographer, you do weddings and caterings. Put yourself, the most busiest time for a photographer, a wedding, people that do weddings, is this time of the year during the summertime, because every spring and summer people are getting married. So they have wedding expos or wedding conventions and stuff like that. These are things that you can get involved in. And even some magazines, the local magazines. So, and as a business expert, there's things like Forbes. You listen to Forbes and the Arizona Business Journal, getting involved with them and realize what's going on, what's a trend, and who's having this meeting, and strategically placing yourself where they see you, and they're like, I see this person, I see her presenting, or I see, they see you, and they're like, that they get to, like, you know what, I got to figure out why she's at these meetings, or, you know, or why she's here and what's so special about her, because you're there, you're placing yourself in that environment all the time, that it's like, okay, you know, I'm ready. You know, you're letting them know I'm ready. You know, you might not think I'm ready, but I'm ready. You know, that's sending out a message for me, because I'm putting my actions where my body is. And I appreciate that.
Definitely.
So am I talking too much for you?
No, it's fine. I would just piggyback on what you said and just say, you know, go to where your ideal clients will hang out. To picture one of the biggest, one of the fastest ways that I grew my business was by being a speaker, by going to events and speaking and just positioning myself as that go-to expert and just getting out in front of people who I knew I wanted to work with. And like you said, I'm at some event, someone else hears about me, they refer me, and now, you know, I'm getting gigs, I'm getting offers, you know, so it can definitely help. You just have to get out of the office. Like when I first started, I was just stuck in this office doing stuff, you know, on my computer, trying to work on my website. I wasn't talking to anybody. No one knew I existed. And so, but once I got out of the office, started meeting people, talking to people, started, you know, presenting, getting in the front of the room, things started to shift. And so, again, talk to people, figure out what they want, what they like, and like you said, start to build those relationships.
See, and that's good. You know, you're networking, and that's important, because everything, like, people's like, well, you got to build your business off your friends and your family, and that's not necessarily so. There's another way to go, and you teach people how to do that as well, to how to not just live off your friends and families, but how to properly network. Uh-oh, my computer, Lace. Oh my gosh.
So I'm not sure if Ceci's frozen, but I'll just continue to add that in your expertise, just getting out there, finding those people that you can get in front of. How can you leverage the power of the internet to get out in front of your ideal client, especially those of us who can work with anyone around the country? How can you use a Google Hangout to really leverage your reach and get your message out, teach a webinar or a class, or do something like this where you interview someone, again, to position yourself as that go-to expert to get in front of those people. And you never know, they may not be a client, but all of us know somebody. So who can we refer to you? So sometimes you may not ask for them to be your direct client, but you may ask them to refer others to you who they feel like might benefit from your products or services. So I know there's a chat box over there, so if anyone has any questions while we wait for the food alchemist to work through her technology issues, I can answer questions. I see you're typing too, Dorothy. I'm so excited that you woke up this morning ready to be a part of the group and that you're from New Zealand. I want to come hang out with you. Martha, that's a great question. When do you know it's the right time to leave corporate? It depends. It depends on your situation. Because there are a couple of different factors you have to think through. Your corporate job, although it may be painful, still for most of us provides for our basic needs. So I would often joke that when I was in corporate, I was at least happy twice a month because I got a check, you know, and I would be able to come home and pay bills, get my nails done, you know, go out to dinner. So those were those moments, but I also knew that my emotional well-being was really not in a good place, and emotionally and physically going through that process wasn't going to work much longer. So for me, I had a husband. I have a husband, and we were able to sit down and come up with a plan, because we're in a position where my husband, his job takes care of us living. So any risk that I take now doesn't impact the household. It's all on Joyanne. Not everyone is in that situation. So, I have friends who are single, they don't have anyone to have their back should something go wrong or should things take a little bit longer. Because we always think we're going to launch this business and make $1 million tomorrow. At least we hope, and it doesn't work out that way. So what does that timeline look like? So being able to work on what I call your exit strategy. So I've worked with women where they have a job, they know that at some point they want to launch their own business, or some of them are fine with it being a side gig. Like, I like my job, I like what I do, I like the stability it provides, but I still have this passion I want to pursue on the side, which is perfectly fine. Understanding what you want is always a big piece of that. But then again, putting together the strategy. So one of my former clients, she has a job, she has a great job actually, but she knows that at some point she does want to do her event planning business. And so what we did during our time together was just starting to get all those pieces into place. Are you going to have an LLC or an S corp? What is your business structure? What are your prices and fees? What does your packaging look like? What do you want on your website? If someone were to call you tomorrow, would you have a contract ready to go? So it was just getting all that stuff together. So when someone picks up the phone and say, hey, I want to work with you, Martha, let's do this, you're not scrounging like, oh my gosh, I got to find a contract. I don't know how much I would charge you. And you ready. You're like, all right, let's do it. I'll get you a contract over, an agreement sent over by the end of the business day, and we can do that. So you can start, seeing how many clients that you need to get in order. How do you replace your income that you're bringing in from your corporate job? And those are some of the numbers that we start to look at. How many clients do you need to say goodbye? And sometimes that's the motivation you need to get hustling, because we hit that wall of fear, and then sometimes it keeps a lot of us stuck. But when we think about, oh, no, I got to go, then it's like, I want to pick up the phone, I'm going to call people, if I get 6 people, then I'm done. Because sometimes we think the number's really big, but when we do the math, it's like, what? I only need 3 clients to be done. Right, it's super small. So just taking the time to do the math, to look at the numbers, and then you're like, oh, this is doable. It's not as scary. But when it's this big unknown, I don't know how many clients I need, I don't know what I'm going to charge, I don't know what I'm going to do, should I get a client? Then that fear, that's just more fear to keep you held back. So I often say that preparation and action are the 2 ways to eradicate fear. When you are prepared, you know what you're going to face, and then you know to take the action, you start doing the things that scare you, that eliminates that fear that often keeps us stuck. Welcome back, Food Alchemist.
My computer said, I guess they had enough outside. It's like, okay, we're done. And I didn't even see it just cut off, but that's okay. You kept going, and someone actually asked a fabulous problem, but that's okay. So I heard you, and I like the points that you were making, so I'm excited about that. And yours able to keep on. She's able to roll with the punches. So I like that. So I'm sorry. I was like, I missed. So I know I missed what you were saying, so I got into the house. So thank you for sticking around and not closing out. I was like, oh my goodness. But you know what? What is it that's called? Rolling with the punches and being authentic and just letting it happen. So I appreciate that. I really do. I really do. So this is awesome. Awesome. So tell people your website again. I need them to know your website, and tell them how many ways you can be of service. Not only your book and your speaking engagements, but also your teleconference that you go on that is for 3 weeks. And tell them, okay, first of all, tell them about your teleconference, what it entails and what they get and how they can go about getting it. That's one. Okay, did we freeze? Hear nothing?
I'm here.
Can you hear me? Okay. Tell them about your teleconference. What is your teleconference called, and how long it's for, and how they can get it and be a part of it?
All right, so my website, again, is .com. And if you want to be part of the CEO Jumpstart program, you can actually just reach out to me at Dr. Nadia, DRNADIA, at doyenleadership.com, and we can discuss how to do that. Like I mentioned at the beginning, we are working on launching this fabulous academy for women business owners. I try not to let too much out of the bag just yet, but know that it's coming within the next 30 to 60 days. So I'm really excited about that. I have to dial it back because I'm the big visionary and I just tell everything before we're ready. So know that that is coming. That community is coming. I'm working on curriculum and content, and the team is working on logos and design stuff that is not my lane. So they just send me something and say, oh yeah, I like that. I don't have to worry about all that. It's getting done. So I'm learning to delegate. I practice what I preach. And like I said, the book is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Nook, iBook. We did it all, so it's available for you. And one of the things that we are looking to do coming up is an executive roundtable. So if you want to be invited to that, Dorothy, we would love for you to fly over to the U.S., but I get it if you can't make it.
Dorothy.
And the retreat, the leadership retreat in October, it's for 6 women, and we are down to 1 spot. It is all inclusive, with the exception of your airfare. It includes ground transportation, your meals. We are having a spa day, and we're going to talk about our big vision and what adjustments we need to make so we can increase our revenues. So I love to say that, you know, we need time to refresh, rejuvenate, so we can refocus and make more money. So I'm so super excited about that. And so yeah, I would just say connect with me. So as we start launching these different things, you know all about them. But I know that you ladies, we stay connected, and I will definitely keep you posted on what we're over here cooking up at the Doyen Leadership headquarters.
Okay, I like that. So I was trying to showcase this as we do on this one, this site. I need your website again because it stopped. www.
Doyen Leadership. I'm going to type it in the box.
Okay, awesome. Okay. Because I'm going to put this. This will be one of the showcase for you to have.
Okay.
So it's like it's been a very busy day. Okay. So we're going to, okay, you get it. Because I want everybody to be able to go to it and see, and even if they did not hear it, they'll be able to see it. It'll be tagged with this video, and that's what I want.
I also included my email address so you guys can stay connected.
Hey, it's okay. We as many ways to contact you as possible. So we're going to have it.
I would add that this was something that we just decided to do is on not August, I'm ahead of myself, April 20th, we're launching the Leading Like a Lady series, Leading Like a Lady 101 series. So I'll start doing some audio and maybe some video. I've been a little anti-video. I need to get over it. Trainings around some of the concepts in the book. Again, just that constant reminder around, you know, who am I? What is my big vision? Who do I need on my team? To really starting to have more of those conversations. So if you're interested in getting those audios or having access to that, just let me know, and we would be more than happy to make sure you get that information.
See? Awesome. Awesome. So you will be there this Saturday. And how many hours is it for the whole weekend, or is it for just one day?
So,
you know, is it like a big conference like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or this is just Friday like a little light dinner, and then Saturday where there's speakers from like for 12 hours, and then Sunday nothing? So how is
quite
the conference
as intense as Success Master? tonight we'll launch with a relationship discussion. So I plan to pop in for that this evening. Stefan will be leading a discussion for women around relationships. Then tomorrow morning, I will speak, and then I believe we have one more speaker. I think we wrap up around noon, so it's just a half day tomorrow, a couple hours tonight. When I spoke to the hostess, Cherie, she said that we had about 100 women registered. So I'm just really excited to go in and just empower women to go for it, shatter that ceiling. We don't have time for fear to hold us back. We got things to do.
I like that. I like that. Oh, okay. Martha mentioned something during a freezing issue. I gotta see what it is. I am going to I'm going to open her camera so we can see what's going on. Because I can't see.
Oh, I see it. I'm having trouble following up. Not sure if it's fear or not.
Okay.
So is that, Martha, is that following up with prospects?
Hold on. I'm working on getting you unfrozen so you can speak. Let's see. This thing is it just like you gotta love this. What is this thing called? I gotta love this thing. Yes, yes. I'm gonna put audience. Yes. Hold on. I'm coming. It's working. Okay, so she present to everybody. Just unmute. Okay, I am trying to unmute. Okay. Is it unmuted? It won't unmute. What the heck? It will not unmute.
Martha,
This is not
in the chat box. So when you say following up, is it with prospects?
She's going to type in the box. She's typing now. I can see her, but this thing is like, oh no. Okay.
Clients. Okay. And so I think we all get there because one, there are a couple of things that come up for us. Am I being a bother? Am I bugging them? Am I getting on their nerves? You know, and so I actually love what one of the things that Shay said. He was like, follow up till they buy or die. So you just keep following up with them, reaching out to them. But basically, maybe not the die part, but basically till they give you a firm yes or no. And even if they say a no, no may not be no forever. It could be no, not right now. So you could then ask, is it okay if I follow up with you maybe the next 90 days to see if things change? Because I may not be interested in photography now, but I may be launching a new book, and now I need you to come present and, you know, take photographs at my book launch party. Well, that's not my reality now because I need to write the doggone book. But, you know, once we get to that point, and so not everyone has that foresight. You know, so things, I'm now engaged, you know, I'm getting married. So again, life changes. And so being okay with following up, just put yourself on a schedule, kind of say, I'll follow up within this timeline. And then a lot of times when you speak to people, just ask them, you know, most people won't mind you checking in with them within, you know, a couple months, because we all know that things change, and just being top of mind. I'll also ask, like, is there any other way that you can follow up people just to kind of give them tips? Like, do you have a newsletter or some value add that you're providing people with information so that they keep you top of mind? So then if something does change before you get to your follow-up date, they have a way of getting in touch with you so they can say, oh, hey, Martha, things have changed and I need you.
Okay. Now all Martha got to do is unmute herself.
She's typing.
She's typing something. Unmute yourself.
Oh,
I don't have anybody muted.
Okay. That's a great way. It's definitely snail mail.
Okay, we're freezing again.
I would encourage you to possibly think about
Now she's there. We got it. Yay!
I just been having fun looking at Dorothy, just loving this camera over here. That's so awesome.
Well, at least we know, it's going to get better, because the next person I am going to present is Martha. She agreed to be on my show, and I need to get Dorothy, even though she's in New Zealand where I want to be. She knows she's wonderful. She is a book author. I mean, I got some phenomenal friends, and I was so wonderful to meet her. I've known you for 3-4 years, Dorothy?
Yeah, somewhere in there. Somewhere in there. Somewhere in there. 3 or 4
See,
years.
don't you just love her accent? Listen to her accent. It's just so beautiful.
I don't have an accent. You do.
But, yes. So now that we got everybody this, we're going to be doing more of this, and I'm hoping that I can invite Dr. Brown out to do this again, and that we can get further along with this, and her doing key points and letting us know what's going on, like keeping an update. Because now that I'm doing my own thing, even though I'm on True Psychics, this is my own thing. You know what I mean? This is the Food Alchemist. This is the Food Alchemy show. So I'm going to be bringing lovely people like Dorothy, like Martha, like Dr. Brown, and you're going to get an experience that they're going to give you tools that you can use, but also where you can go and get these tools that they have to be able to use them. So I don't want people to forget, especially with Dr. Brown working, what she didn't tell you is that she's a volunteer for Big Brothers and Big Sisters. So she has little sisters that she take care of. So she's very much involved in her community. So she actually speaks and walks the talk. And not a lot of people do that. It's like, oh, I would want to help out. But she's actually somebody's little, big sister to these little ones that have someone encouraging. And to be an entrepreneur and a woman in the business world, they're seeing a positive, feminine, wonderful side as a big sister. And that's not what we're getting. We're getting, this is a male's role. You just cook, clean, and da-da-da-da-da. And once you have a baby, that's it. But she represents, you know what? You don't necessarily have to have a baby right now. But you can do other things, go to college, go to school. But if you want to have a kid, you can still do that and be a mom and be successful too. You understand? And then, these are the kind of women that you want in your life. You want that positive aspect to you for your little girl to grow up. So I'm saying out there for everybody, why not? Why not get these women on your team? Why not call them and approach them and do business with them? We already established that Martha is the messiah of photography.
One day I'll have an opportunity to share what's really behind that statement. Because oftentimes when you're trying to create a brand for yourself, what I've learned is that you need to be comfortable in your own skin, but you also need to be comfortable in what you're saying about yourself so that you don't sound like a rehearsed speech. And one of the things that I learned about myself this week is when it's on the inside of you, and it's all going to come out when that opportunity is presented. So even though I only have the information for a day, the next day I need to use it. And Ceci, she was there with me, and she goes like, "Oh my goodness, it sounded like you had been rehearsing this or doing this for years." Yep. But that's the whole thing about really believing in yourself and what your self-worth is, and that's what Dr. Brown was talking about, is really understanding every aspect of you. The whole self part. Because when I left corporate America, I really didn't really think about all the different things like she just talked about. I know that I wanted to come out of that office because my talent was just being wasted. And every time I would try to bring up a new idea about something, people would look at me sideways. So I need to be in a place where the creativity flows and I can continue to make people look beautiful.
All right. And Dorothy, our lovely, wonderful Dorothy from New Zealand, I'm just telling you, she's got phenomenal books. I think she's got about 5 books out. Even my favorite book is Foodie Moody.
Moody Moody.
And she has she's on Blog Talk Radio, and she also does a decast, not decast, what is it, Ustream? What do you do,
I
Dorothy?
do hang out.
Because you're on TV too.
I do hang out.
Google Hangout, and she's phenomenal. She does phenomenal readings and tarot cards. She teaches you how to the tarot and the tarot guild, which I really like, which is a good one that she has. But she's had 5 books out. She's out there in New Zealand, and she's doing her thing, and she's living her truth. And she knows how to read auras, so she knows. I caught up and faked her out one day. She didn't even know it was me. I faked her out, and then she's like, "Who is this?" And I just said, "She's like, you got the sun." And then I was like, "Uh-huh." I didn't let her know who it was, and then she was like, "Sassy," and I was like, "Yes." And then she figured out who it was. So I like doing stuff like that, because she's a wonderful person. So when I say she brings in expertise from New Zealand, but all over, as also an aspect from a mom's point of view, and what it is like to raise children in this world today, which is another aspect, and to be a business person. So that's another aspect we don't see. You know, we have beautiful people right here of every creed on this monitor right here. Beautiful creed that comes from all different backgrounds. Who would have thunk it? You know what I mean? That you would have these people together and being positive, encouraging other women and going forth. Who would have thunk it? You know? And I did say thunk it, not think it, on purpose.
Thank God that was
For
on.
those people that's looking for my grammatic error, I learned that, like, what did she write? Opportunity instead of opportunity. And that one pronunciation. Where did I get that from? I think I got that from Dr. Brown.
That's right.
So I really appreciate this. So if you have any questions for me, let me know now. Does anybody have any questions?
I'm pretty good, thanks.
Yeah, I'm good at
Okay.
Great show.
Thank you
lady.
so much. So, Miss Nadia, I'm going to send you an email real quick.
Okay.
Give you the link, because I wanted to talk to you about what we talked about at the icon that we didn't get finished talking about. But I want to thank everybody for joining the Food Alchemy Show. And my favorite phrase is love, light, life, longevity, and much prosperity to all of us. I wish everybody just nothing but love straight from my heart into yours. And I hope that this was helpful to you as it was to me, and I hope that you'll use these young ladies and get in contact with them for their services. That is my best wishes to you guys. So it's been real, lovely ladies. I'll see you on the flip side.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.